Hello, welcome to Magical Living Coaching. I'm Marianne Candido, and this is day 3 on my EFT for weight loss journey. Thank you for joining me. And today we're going to focus on what is your ideal weight, not your goal weight. Okay, I've set my goal weight to lose 26 pounds. But this ideal weight that I have envisioned in my mind is about 15 pounds less than what my goal weight is right now. So I think it's really important that we set goals and that are achievable. For me to have said, no, 26 pounds, I think that's a realistic goal. Had I said 40 pounds, that would throw me way off the curve, and I would not feel like I could achieve that at this point. So I think if we break it down, we might want to break them down into 10-pound increments or 5-pound increments or however it is. I know for me, I can lose 26 pounds. My goal is to do it not dieting, not depriving myself of anything I want, not counting calories or weighing or measuring food, and not killing myself at the gym. Okay, so that's my goal, is to do it by reprogramming myself using EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. Okay, so by concentrating on this one topic today, we're going to talk about what is your ideal weight. So why don't you go ahead and think about that, write that number down, and then what I want you to do, and I'm going to look at my notes as we talk right now. What I want you to do is also, you might want to pause this video and go ahead and write down all of the things that come to mind that might be self-talk, self-sabotage in you achieving this goal. And remember, your ideal weight can be fluid. Right now, you might think, for me, I want to weigh, I can think my ideal weight is 125 pounds. But once I lose my 26 pounds, I might look at that and say, no, this is more realistic for me and I'm happy where I'm at. So they can always change. So just keep that in mind. But right now, when you think of your ideal weight, what are those things that you say to yourself, okay, regarding this ideal weight? That is the self-talk, the self-sabotage, these tail enders that we keep hearing in our mind. Some of them might be, well, you know, is it safe to be that thin? I'm going to lose my friends. What are my friends going to say? I won't fit in anymore with my friends. How about I've never lost that much weight, or I've never been that thin. I just, those sort of things that we hear. I'll always be fat. I don't like dieting. I don't like exercising. I don't like eating right. Anything you can think of, even if it's something like I couldn't afford to buy all new clothes. Whatever it is, go ahead and jot those down. Okay, and then I have another question for you. All these things are going to lead us to the core issues that we talked about in day 1. It's going to lead to those issues that we would want to clear, that create this self-sabotaging talk that we hear in the back of our head. Another good set of questions would be, how about, in order to lose that much weight, I would have to blank. Okay. So what would that be for you? Is that a question that starts to stir up, say, more challenging issues? So all these things tend to lead us in the direction of where we need to look at to tap on our issues. Another question could be, is losing weight is really good, but what I really want is blank. So these questions are geared to make you think. They are geared to showing us where we need to look as far as your areas of resistance and areas, these blocks that you have. Let's see, here's another good question, is if I reach my goal weight of minus 125 pounds, the consequences would be blank. Okay, so I think you see the track that we're on, and I would say for me, the good question for me is, in order for me to lose that much weight, I would have to starve myself. Okay, so that's my issue is I don't believe that I can reach 125 pounds without starving myself. And I am not willing to starve myself. Number one, it's not healthy. And number two, when you starve yourself, your body kicks in gear and then you start not losing weight because your body's protecting itself. And then when you start eating, you gain it all back. So that's why a lot of those liquid diets fail in the long run. And so that leads me to my next issue on this that I have personally is I did do one of those liquid diets and I got around to weight 129. So about 4 pounds more than my ideal weight of 125. And I did it by starving myself. So I have this belief ingrained in me that the only way I can lose weight down to 125 is to starve myself. Okay, I know I can lose weight without doing that, but I have this belief that in order to get to 125 pounds, I have to starve myself. So with that being said, that is what we are going to tap on for me today. So you've got your notes, and you want to just go ahead and substitute your beliefs instead of mine, okay? So here we do our setup phrase. Remember, we do it 3 times. We tap on the karate chop of our hand. Even though I would have to starve myself in order to reach 125 pounds, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel I would have to starve myself in order to reach 125 pounds, I'd still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I honestly believe I would have to starve myself in order to reach my goal of 125 pounds, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, now these are the reminder phrases that we tap on our acupressure points. This belief of starving myself. This belief of starving myself in order to reach my goal weight. This belief of starving myself in order to be 125 pounds. I would have to starve myself to reach 125 pounds. I have never been that thin before, and I would have to starve myself. I have never been 125 pounds before, and I would have to starve myself to reach that. This belief that I would have to starve myself to reach my goal. This belief that I would have to starve myself to reach my ideal body weight of 125 pounds. Okay, I forgot to do my range. I was about a 9 on the scale of 0 to 10 as far as that thought that I have to starve myself. Okay, so right now I would say that didn't come down too much. Okay, so I'm going to change up the setup statement a little bit. Okay, to reflect that I have never weighed 125 pounds and also tie in the belief that I'd have to starve myself. Okay, so we're going to go in. I'm about at 8 right now. Even though I have never weighed 125 pounds and I believe that I would have to starve myself to get there, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have never reached my ideal body weight of 125 pounds, and I believe I would have to starve myself in order to do that, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have never been at 125 pounds, and in order to get there, I believe I would have to starve myself, I still deeply and completely accept myself. I've never been 125 pounds. I would have to starve myself to get that low. I can't even envision myself at 125 pounds. I don't know what that would feel like. I would have to starve myself to get there. I would have to work out like crazy to get there. I would have to do all sorts of things I'm not comfortable doing to reach 125 pounds. I don't even know what it's like to reach 125 pounds. And I feel I would have to starve myself to do that. Okay, so I'm going to reevaluate what that feeling is now on my range. It's dropping. It's dropping. So I'm down to about a 5 right now. So we're going to tap on that. That seemed to help kick it in gear a little more, talking about how I've never been there, so I don't know how it feels. But this is what I think, okay, is that I would have to starve myself or work out really hard to achieve that goal. Okay, so we're going to do this the setup again. Even though I still have this little bit of feeling that I would have to starve myself to reach 125 pounds, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still feel like I don't know what it would be like to be 125 pounds, and I would probably have to starve myself and work out really hard, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still feel a little bit that I would have to starve myself and do things I wouldn't want to do in order to reach 125 pounds, I still deeply and completely accept myself. I have no idea what it would be like to be 125 pounds. I can't even imagine it. All I know is I'd have to starve myself to get there. I would have to work out like crazy every day in order to get to 125 pounds. I don't know what it would feel like to be 125 pounds. I feel I would have to starve myself and work out really hard to achieve my goal of 125 pounds. I don't know what skinny feels like. I would have to starve myself to reach my goal of 125 pounds. Okay, so I am reevaluating that. And I would say I'm about down to a 1. And we could tap on that some more, but what I'm thinking is what is coming to me now, which is great. When you start tapping on your meridians, you start to get ideas about where it's going next. And where it's going next is the unknown. Like, is 125 pounds, for me, is that going to feel safe or scary for me? Okay, so that leads me to, well, why would it be scary for me? And then that leads me to thinking back. When I was a little girl, I think I remember the last time I was thin, I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. And after that, I started to put on weight. And I just had a vision of, I was 4 years old, and I was at my grandmother and grandfather's house, and my grandfather had a heart attack, and he died right there when I was there. And the emergency medical techs came in, the ambulance came, we ran up the stairs, they wheeled him down and gurneyed him down the stairs. And I was just so scared. So scared. And that was the last time that I remember myself being thin. And being in an Italian family, like I said on my first tape, the first day, they would, we eat for everything. So naturally, that sorrow that our whole family felt at the loss of my grandfather, we ate. So, okay, so you see how this kind of led to something that I need to tap on. And that is now possibly one of my really big core issues. So what I'm going to tap on is the feeling safe and feeling secure and lost. And we'll tie it all together and we'll see how it flows, okay? Even though I was so scared when my grandfather died when I was 4, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I didn't feel safe when I was 4 years old and my grandfather died, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I may have self-soothed myself with food when I was 4 when my grandfather died, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, so these emotions are at a 10, just so you know. Okay. I don't feel safe. I'm really scared. What's going to happen? I want to feel safe again and secure. I'm really scared. I want to feel comforted again. I comfort myself with food. Food makes me feel comfortable and safe. And I feel for this, I want to do the affirmation round. So we're going to turn this around a bit. Okay, I can release this feeling of being scared. It doesn't serve me anymore. I can release this feeling of being scared and alone. It doesn't serve me anymore. I can breathe deep into my fear and release it because it doesn't serve me anymore. I can release the need to use food to comfort me and to make me less scared. I can release the need to use food to comfort me and to make me feel less scared. I can release this fear and this old memory of being so scared. It doesn't serve me anymore. I can release this fear of being scared and alone. It doesn't serve me anymore. I can replace this fear with knowing that I am loved and I don't need food to prove that. Okay, so that brought that down to a 0. So that was a really big core issue for me, is that correlation between when I was thin at 4 years old and right afterwards, where I jumped up in weight, where I then used food as a comfort. And that's how the question that led me to, I don't even know how, what it would feel like to be 125. And it's scary to be 125. And it's not really scary to be 125. What was scary was being a small 4-year-old child watching my grandfather die and being taken away out of the house, and everybody around me being scared and in chaotic mode, and using food to comfort myself. So that's the kind of things that come up with EFT, and that is what we want, those core issues to surface. And when we ask ourselves these questions surrounding our issues, that leads us to further questions that we want to ask ourselves, and it leads us to memories. And when memories come in, that's a good indication that that's what we want to tap on. And also keep in mind, some memories are not real. It's just the mind's way of giving you something to work with. Okay, because it wants you to clear these blocks and these old programs. However, this memory of mine was real, but like I said, take your memories with a grain of salt, because sometimes it is the mind just trying to help you and give you symbols to work with, so it helps to clear. Okay, well, thank you for joining me. Tomorrow we're going to talk about overeating, and eating everything on our plate. Yesterday when I took my trip to Portland, I did really well. I only snacked on fruit and celery in the car. I know that was one of my issues we talked about yesterday, but an interesting thing did come up when I ate lunch, and stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll go over that, and it's all revolves around eating everything on your plate and not stopping when you're full or satisfied. Okay, thanks, and magical journeys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.